do, because it is again very important whenever you are going for anything, if you want to execute, because as I told you that JVM will always look for public static void main. Okay, and it is a case sensitive language, and inside that we have a string args. Okay, so you have already used this thing multiple times whenever you are going to use this whenever you are writing any program. So now you at least you have an idea about that. Whenever you are going to write a program, go for public static void main. After that, you are using scanner sc.new scanner system.in. So basically, why you are using this scanner? So scanner is basically a class. So right now I'm just giving you an overview that scanner sc is equals to new scanner, and we are just writing system.in. Okay. So this is over here we are just using this class. So there is a class which is available inside your a package that is known as your java.util package. So that is why in your labs, whenever you are going to use this scanner class, so first task of what you are doing, you are just importing that package, import java.util package. Okay. So there is a package. Even during my lab session, I have shown my students. So here also, I just want to show you where this file is located. Okay, so at least you should have an idea related to java dot scanner class. Okay, so you already know that I think all of you have already downloaded this any IDE. So I have downloaded or installed this Eclipse IDE in my system. So over there, you can see over there, whenever you are going to work in any program, your first thing which you are going to do is you are going to create a package. Okay. So automatically it will create a package. Right now we are not going in the depth, so no need to worry what is a package and all those things. So right now just think about it. Package is a folder, okay, which is containing your several files. So out of which, whenever you are going to create a package, your my first program, and over there, so you can name any your the package name, like your folder name you generally give. So similarly here, you can also give any variable name over there. After that, you can see it over there that whenever you are going to create a package, by default, you will get some system libraries too, okay, in your system. And out of these are basically your system libraries. So you know that we generally use Java programming language for your different applications. It's not like that we are using Java programming language only to solve some specific problem. So as we have already discussed in our first lecture that it is a general purpose language, means we are going to use it for your journal, means different kind of application we can use our Java programming language. We can create different types of your applications. Okay. So out of these, we have out of these over here, you can see over there that inside this Java base, we have all these packages. Okay. So all these packages are available inside our java.base. And right now you already know that we are using this java.util package. So this package is available, already available. You don't need to write the code of related to this package. So you can see over there automatically we are getting this import java.util package. So you have to write actually this package if you want to use the functionality. So in our programs, why we are importing this java.util package? We are using this import java.util package because we are scanning the values, means reading the values during runtime, either integer value, your character value, string value, whatever the value you are using it. So see, inside this util package, there are various classes. Okay, so these are the predefined classes, and class contains methods. Okay, so we are using the functionality. We are basically for using the methods actually whenever we want to perform any functionality. So here you can see over there, if you want to use the functionality related to this your calendar, so you can call this class related to calendar class. So right now, according as per our lab session, we are using this scanner dot class. Okay. So in this scanner dot class, if you will see the inside this code, so they have already written this entire code related to this class. Okay. And there are various different kinds or types of methods that are available Okay, so if you are passing those method import I dot int your object and true dot object you are next int, all these methods are what available over there, and using this method they are going to execute this code, and that is why you are able to perform whatever the functionality you want to perform. So that is why this line is very important. Import java.util whenever you are going to use the functionality of your scanner class. Otherwise, it is not at all required if you are using some basic programming concepts. Okay, so let me open here my Firefox. So here again, I'm going to open online compiler, your Java compiler. Okay, so in online Java compiler, you can see over there that we have also executed some of the programs, and in those in that these programs we haven't imported that particular package. So why we are not importing dot package? Because we don't require the functionalities. Okay, so if we require some specific functionalities, then we have to import that particular package. So for network related classes, if we want to access, so we have to import network.net package like that. Okay, this is related to your package part. Now after that, we have gone through the size, so you know that how we have calculated the size. So I'm not going again the discuss about this thing. And still, if you are having doubt, so you can directly ask me. Okay, if you are facing any difficulty that how we have calculated this path, what how yes, any question? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So see, these are the four data types for if you want to represent your integer number. So one thing I think in your lab session, if you are going to solve these problems, so you have an idea about that. If I'm going to write 10.0 over here, so I will get an error. So why I will get an error? Because my LHS part is of which data type? Can anyone tell me? RHS part, sorry.
Float.
Float, sir.
Float.
Float.
So most of
The
you,
double.
yeah, some of you are saying the correct answer. So that is why I have given you this question. So the answer which the RHS part is always double. Always remember that whenever you are going to write 10.0 number, so always this, because actually in Java compiler, it will store some temporary memory, and that temporary memory, it will assign it into our this memory, okay, this variable memory. So how we are going to represent a 10.0 in the form of double means we required 8 bytes to represent your 10.0. So if I'm going to write float over here, so again I will get an error. Why I will get an error? Because my float is of your 4 bytes. Okay. So see, here you are getting an error. Otherwise you are getting later on also. But right now we have to focus here also, because we have used and we have made this thing as what your float. Okay. So in order to sort out this issue, what we generally do, we just write F over there. So F is basically going to tell us or represent and tell us about that it is a floating pointer number. Okay. Similarly, here in this case, one more example I can show you related to long. Why I'm explaining these problems, so that if you are going to start writing the code and if you are going to solve these problems, so sometimes you might get these such kind of errors. Okay. So that is why I'm giving you these such kind of scenarios. So if I'm going to write my mobile number over here, so according to you, I think most of you will say that, okay, yeah, we will not get any error in this third line. Okay, I'm just asking about the third line, whether we will get any error or not. So most of you will say that, yeah, we will not get any error. Why? Because our long is of, you can see over here, is that it contains your 8 bytes. Okay, so you can see the range of long data type, and my number is basically is in between this range. So now it can store that range. But in reality, if I'm going to execute my code, so again it depends upon your compiler or version. Okay, so in latest version, they have updated resolved this issue, but in previous versions like your 1.8 or 1.9 versions, they haven't resolved this issue. So in CodeZinger, it might be possible, because we are solving all the problems in your CodeZinger, so you might get some sort of issue related to that. So the error which we are getting it over there is integer number too large. So what does it mean? That whenever you are going to write any number in the RHS part, so my compiler will take this number and store and try to store this in a temporary, in a buffer, you can call it as, and it will try to store it inside in a integer data type, like inside 4 byte. It always try to, and you can see over there, you cannot store this number inside your integer. So that is why you are not getting any error in the from the LHS part point of view. You are getting an error in the integer number too large. So again, in order to sort out this issue, what you do, you just write L over there and it will resolve the issue. Even though we will get an error, but yeah, but we have resolved this issue. So we are getting an error here. Okay, you already know that we have already discussed about that, why we are getting an error over here. Okay, so these are the very important
Sir,
concepts. Yes.
if we can't use that long and float, then that would be useless, na?
Sorry.
Sir, if we can't use that long and that float part because we are using L and F after that integer part, then that would be useless.
So why it is useless then?
Because
See,
we would not be using that. We would be using only int there.
no. Actually, you are not getting it. See, in some of the scenarios, like here, got it? If you are having a value, okay, that can be inside the range of this range, okay, like this. So in that scenario, you can use integer data type. Got it? But if you are whatever the number you are taking, okay, like your mobile number, your Aadhaar card number, you can see over there our we cannot satisfy it inside our integer data type length. Okay, so that is why we always go for long data type. But in long data type, again I said that now in the latest versions they have resolved this issue, but in the some previous versions, like I have checked in the CodeZinger. In CodeZinger we are getting that error. Okay, so in order to resolve this issue, what we generally do, we generally use this L, or we generally used if we want to make this number as large, so we have to use this your what we call it as L over there. Okay, so
Okay,
always
sir, got it, got it.
got it, no?
You
So
mean in the latest version we are not facing this error,
we
right?
you are not
Uh,
facing any issue related to that, but yeah, in the previous version they haven't done this part. Okay, so you can check it out. But why I'm telling you is this, because in CodeZinger, I have checked today that in CodeZinger you are getting an error related to that. Okay, so always keep in mind. So if you are not getting an error, that's okay. But if you are getting some error related to that, so you can, now you are in a stage that you can resolve that issue. Okay, like this. Now, again, let's go through and discuss about others. So you already know that we have discussed about float, double. So if you want 5 to 7 decimal places, go for float. And for double, go for 15 decimal places, like that. Similarly, you have Boolean for true and false, and character. You can use it for you know that we have discussed about the ASCII values, like for 97 for your small a, and capital A, you have, I think, 65. Okay, like that. We have also discussed about the variable name, that your variable name should consist of your small character as well as your small case as well as in the higher case. Always remember, I have seen that most of the time we always neglect this concept or related to your variable name, but it is very important when we should have an idea about this variable name too. So we can use only two special characters, which are your underscore as well as dollar sign. If we are going to use this symbol or at the rate symbol, so we will get an error over there. Okay, you can try it at your home also. So like that, and you cannot start a number with a digit. Okay, so you cannot write a variable int 123 num over there. So if you are going to write this thing, I can even show you, demonstrate you the same thing. Where is my? Yeah, second one is my browser. So if I'm going to write over here, let me again this thing. make it 1. If I'm going to write 123x, so what will happen? I will get an error. So the error, why I am getting it, because you can see it that this is you cannot represent a number, okay, ahead of this thing. So every time whenever you want to use any number while creating any variable name, so always it should follow your characters, okay, like you can use uppercase, lowercase, like that. It's up to you. Okay. So that is why now, in order to sort out, now you have to tell me, okay, so in the chat box, what you can do, you can just tell me about, just go through it, okay, don't just directly give me the answer, just go tell me about what are the correct options, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So in the chat box, what you do, you just write, if 1 2 3 is correct, just write 1 2 3. If 1 4 5 is correct, just write 1 4 5. So use your chat box and just tell me about what out of the all these things, which one is correct, okay. Inside public static void main, if I'm going to write these statements, so which one is correct and which one is incorrect? So just go through it. Yeah, so now I am getting the answer. Okay, let me check what are the answer I'm getting it first. If I'm going to start from the beginning, yeah, just wait. So most of you are giving me 126, 1235. Some of you are giving me 135. Some of you are giving 234, 234, 2346, 234. Okay, like that. So I can see that you are getting, some of you are most of you are giving me 234. Okay, only 234 are correct. So let's check. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's check it out. What are the correct the answer? Okay. So you can see over there which one, first one is correct or incorrect. First one is you're incorrect. Why? Because you cannot use this special symbol. You
Yes,
cannot
sir.
use hyphen over there. Okay. So that is why it is incorrect. Second one is you're okay. That is okay. It is correct. Now third one is syntax wise, it is correct. Okay, syntax wise you can use the any length. It's not, even if you want to write int a like that and so on, so it will work, you will not get any error, but it will be a poor choice, okay, if you are using this thing. Similarly, you have this initially you have, yeah, so you, if you want to use this thing, it's correct. No, it's not correct. Why? Because this thing is missing. Okay, semicolon is missing. You can check it out over here. Here semicolon is missing, so that is why again it is incorrect. As I told you, you cannot use number ahead of any, if you are using any variable, so that is why you will get an error over there. And again, if you are going to use double, so as I told you, sorry if I haven't mentioned, so I can tell you that you cannot use the reserve words. Okay, so there are some reserve words, like till now we have used the data type, like your integer, your byte, short, int, long. All these are what your reserved words, like your class, all these things. Okay, so we cannot use these reserve words for what our variable name. Otherwise, because our compiler gets confused. Okay, so that is why again over here you will get an error. So the correct one is only the second one. Okay, third one is again correct, and only 2 and 3. Only second and 3 is correct. Oh, I can understand some of you are saying 4. That is okay. If you have missed the semicolon, I think most of you have missed the semicolon, but that's okay. But just try to remember that semicolon is again mandatory. Now we have different types of operators in Java. All these are what your operators, okay, through which we are basically performing some sort of operations. So first one is your unary operator, like your plus, minus, your plus plus, minus. So you know that what is the meaning of this plus. So plus, which generally, if you are using this plus sign with a number, like here in this question, you can see over there, here my plus sign is acting as an addition of two numbers. Okay, so I'm performing the addition. So whatever the addition I'm performing, so I'm getting it. Okay, and but here my plus sign is acting as a concatenator. Okay, so some of you are using this comma over there. Okay, so if you are going to use comma in your lab, so you will get an error. So why you will get an error? Because here in this case, if you are going to execute this program, so you will see that because we are calling this method. Okay, this method, and whenever you are going to call this method, so in this method you are passing two arguments. One is your string and second one is your integer, and that type of method is not available in your Java directory, you can call it. Okay, so that is why you will get an error. So never use comma. So instead of that, what you do, you always go for plus. So plus is always used for concatenation, because I can understand that you are getting confused with your Python programming language, but in Java programming language, always go for plus as a concatenator.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, if you
Yes.
have int value there, then the plus will not concatenate, na?
Where? Yeah, here inside this thing.
Yes, sir. If you have any
If,
int value,
okay,
then
you are saying that if we are performing x plus y over here, yeah, at that time it will not perform. See, the functionality of this your concatenator is that whenever, so suppose I can show you over here. Okay.
so directly tell that what we have to do if we have to concatenate the int or
Okay. I'm through this example, you will understand what I'm saying, what I'm telling you. Okay. Let me execute this program. See, I have executed this code. Okay. See, just go through, just leave this line. Okay. Even if you want to leave this thing. So what I'm asking is that whenever you want to print something, so using system.out.println, what we are doing, we are displaying our whatever the output you want to display, whatever the message you want to display, you are displaying. So in this scenario, where if you are using, so whenever you are going to execute your code, in some of the scenario, your code will execute L2R. L2R means your compiler will start executing from the left hand side and it will go towards your right hand side. So first of all, it will take X. Okay. So X, it will understand that X is a variable. Okay. And it is holding one value. Okay. Now it will, this will get what your plus operator. Now again, our compiler will means our compiler is not having any idea whether it is a concatenator or whether it is a summation operation. Okay, what operation you are performing. Then on the basis of RHS operand, okay, this is my second operator, because whenever you are performing operation, any operator, so you require at least two operators. Okay, so two operators are required. So it will go for this RHS side. Okay, so this operator, RHS operator. Now it will check whether it is a string or whether it is a value. So you can see that it is a value. So here what it will do, it will perform the addition operation. So you will get the output over here as what your 26. Now after that, if you are going to write plus over there, okay, again in the LHS you have value, but in the RHS what you have string over there. So whenever you are going to, you are using this string, okay, in any of the side, either in the LHS or in the RHS side, what it will do, it will concatenate my output. So that is why you are getting the output as what your 26 hello. Okay. So whenever either in the LHS side or in the RHS side, if you are having this your string, and if you are using this your plus operator, so it will just concatenate this entire string. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? It will perform what your summation of. Got the point? Or still having any doubt?
Got it, sure.
Got it? Okay. So always remember, our compiler always execute in most of the scenario from L to R. Okay, from left hand side to the towards your right hand side, like that. Now you have this operator. I think you already have used. If I'm going to write int b is equals to a plus plus, okay, and if the value of A is 1, okay, and if I'm going to print, I'm just writing SOP means system.out.println, and if I'm going to print the value of B over here, similarly I have a case and I'm going to print int B is equals to, this is a different program, and here I am using plus plus A, and here what I'm doing, again I am printing the value of your B, okay, and here again I'm going to print the value of A2, and here again I'm going to print the value of A2. So in the first case, see, this is my first case. In both the case, the initial value of A is what? My 1. Always remember, I have given you that the value of A is what? 1. Now I'm performing this operation. This is known as your post increment. So in the case of your post increment, how actually our compiler execute this your post increment operation? First of all, it will, as in the case of your post increment, always remember, first of all, it will assign the value, then it will increment the value. Okay, always remember, this is the operation which we are going to perform in the case of your post increment. So that is why if I am going to print the value of B in this question, so I will get the output 1 over here, while in the case of A over there, so you can see that we have already updated the value of A is equals to A plus 1. So A is 1, 1 plus 1 will become 2. So you will get the output as what your 2. While in the second case, whenever you are going to follow, whenever you are following pre-increment, so in the case of your pre-increment, how your compiler executes this code, first of all, what it will do, it will increment the value A equals to A plus 1, and then what it will do, it will assign the value over here. Okay, so now if I'm going to execute this code, so the output which I will get over here is, first of all, it will increment the value of A. So that is why initial the value of A is, as you know, that it is 1. So that is why over here I will get the value 2 over here. And what will happen? I will update assign a value of A, which is already 2. So that is why I will get the value 2 and 2 over here in both the cases. Okay, always remember. So this is the difference between your post increment as well as post decrement. Even if post increment and your pre increment, like that. Okay, so in the case of your A plus plus, first of all it will assign, execute that instruction, and then later on it will increase its value. If you are increasing, that is okay. If you are decreasing, that is okay too. While in the case of your pre-increment, first of all, it will increment the value, then it will perform that operation like that. Okay, so that is why based on this thing, you have to use different your functionalities like that. Similarly, you have this operator, logical complement operator, which we generally most of the time we used with your Boolean variable. So if Boolean variable is true, and if we are going to use this operator, okay, logical complement operator, it will turn my operator into your false. So I will get the complement, basically true to false, false to true, like that. Now we have this addition operator. Okay, so you know the functionality of addition operator, subtraction, multiplication, because you have already used all these operators. Okay, so if you want to use the functionalities of these operators, so you can directly use it. Similarly, we have relational operators too. So relational operators are basically going to be checked whenever we are relating to operand. Okay, so suppose if I am having int A is equals to 5, int B is equals to 10, and I just want to check the whether these two are equal or not. So this equal is single. If you are using equal, it will use for assignment. Okay, it will always use for assignment, means you are assigned some values whenever you are using single equal to sign. But whenever you are using double equal to sign, it will check the condition and it will return you true as well as your false value. So if I am going to write A is equals to B, so it will check whether the value of A and B are equal or not. If both are equal, then it will return me true value. Otherwise, like here in this case, it will return me what? My false value. Similarly, we have not equal to sign. Okay. So here in this case, if these two values are not equal to each other, then it is a kind of a vice versa case. So here you will get the value what your true value. Okay. So you know that A is 5, B is 10, 5 is not equal to 10. So that is why here you will get what? True condition over there. Okay, result. Similarly, you have greater than, less than. So why I'm not going in the depth of these things? Because I think you have already used these symbols in your Python programming language. So with respect to these
Yes,
symbols,
yes.
yeah, so these operators you have already used. So I'm not going in the depth of that, but still, if someone is having any doubt in between, so you can directly stop me and you can directly ask me a question. Okay. Similarly, we have bitwise operators also, but these operators are very important in your Java programming language. Why? Because using this bitwise operators, we are performing even your Boolean expressions, and sometimes we are using different kind of operations. So what I want to say is that if I'm going to use true, this is my Boolean expression. If I'm going to write true and true, okay, so the output which I'm going to get it over there is what your true. Okay. So you already know about this thing is that this true is we are going to in Boolean expression, we are using only two values. First one is true and second one is your false. Okay. So this AND operator, you already have an idea about AND two, like if we are getting, I'm just true is representing T, false is representing F. So if I'm getting both true condition, then you will get true if I am performing AND operator. Okay, so this is always have an idea that this is representing AND operator. Okay, while in all other cases, what will happen? You will get what? False conditions, false answer. Okay. Similarly, if you are going to use OR operator, this single operator is basically representing what your OR operator. And in the case of OR operator, you already have an idea that in all the case you will get true except when both the conditions are false, then only you will get what your false condition. And the third operator is what your XOR operator. Over here, whenever you have inverted bits, means in LHS as well as RHS to each other, then you will get true. Otherwise, when you have same value in LHS RHS, then you will get what your false and you will get false. Okay, like that. So this is known as your XOR gate. So always have an idea, keep in mind that this is representing AND, this is representing OR, and this symbol is basically representing your XOR. Similarly, we have bitwise complement too. So this bitwise complement is basically we are going to use it if we want to invert the bits. So if I'm going to implement this bitwise operator with 0, so you will get 1. For 1 you will get 0. Okay, like that. But these bitwise operators which you can see over here, we can still use it with your whenever we are performing any bitwise operations. What I want to say is that if I am going to perform 1 and 2, okay, so over there you can see over there we are not performing any Boolean operation. We are performing this bitwise operator using these two values. So in that scenario, whenever you are performing bitwise operators with the data values, always remember with the values whenever you are going to be performed. So what will happen? First of all, it will convert this my decimal number into binary number. So you know the representation. I'm just showing the 5 bits over there. So you know that in integer you will get 32-bit number. So I'm just showing you 4 bits over 5 bits over there. So this is the representation of your 1. Oh, got it? And how my 2-bit is represented in binary number like this. Okay. This is the representation of 2. And after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform this AND operation. So that is why whenever I'm going to perform AND operation, so this it will always follow 1-to-1 mapping. Always remember, it will always follow 1-to-1 mapping. So 1 0. So you know that 1 0 you will get what? Over here you will get 0. 1 0 you will get 0. So you will get all zeros over here. And if you similarly, if you are performing OR gate over here in between these two data values, so you will get 1 over here, 1 over here, and all zeros. So the output which you will get over there is what your 3 over here. Okay, like this. So these are the operations. So bitwise operator, if you are going to use with values, so what it will do, first of all, it will convert into your decimal number into your these values. Okay, sorry, your bitwise representation, convert it into bitwise representation, and then it will perform these values. Okay, now as I told you, I think in the previous class also, or in the previous lecture, that in Java, okay, always remember this is a very important concept, that in Java your negative number, okay, your negative numbers are always stored in the form of 2's complement. Okay, so let's show you. So this is my number. Okay, first of all, I just want to show you the representation of positive 2 number, or I will go for 3 numbers, so that I will use 2 decimal digit. So how my byte will be represented like this. So I'm just going to write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and you got 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So you know that this is a positive number, so you will get 0 over here. And you already know how 3 is represented in binary number. You get you will write 1 1 over there, and rest other bits will get what your 0. Okay, so you will get all 0 bit except these 2 bits. So this is the representation of your positive 3 number. So I'm using two terms over there. One is your logical, and second one is your machine level. Okay, why I'm using these two words, I will tell you. So logically, if I'm going to ask you that you have to convert this 3 into binary number, so you will convert it like that. And similarly, in Java programming language 2, the machine will store this 3 number 3 in the form of 0 1 like that. So both logical and your machine level means code are same. Okay, in the case of your positive number. Now let's check it out for negative number. So whenever we are dealing with the negative numbers, so this is very important because whenever you are going to solve the problems, also if you have no idea that how we are basically calculating the values of, how our compiler is computing the values of negative number, so you might get the wrong answer. Okay, like that. So how I'm going to represent a negative number in your Java programming language. Okay, so over there, logically, if I'm going to ask you again, logically, how we are going to represent this number, again like this. Here you will, in the MSB part, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so here what will happen, you will get 1 bit over there, 1 bit up. 1 bit is representing that this is a negative number. Got it? And in rest of the bit, you will get what your 1 1 bit number. So logically, if I'm going to ask you that how to represent -3, so you will get this answer. But in machine, okay, but in JVM, I'm just calling it as JVM. But in JVM, negative numbers are always stored in the form of 2's complement. Okay, 2's complement. So what I want to say is that all the value, this data value part, are basically going to be stored in the form of 2's complement. So how you are going to calculate the 2's complement? So 2's complement are basically calculated by, first of all, you are going to perform your first one's complement, and then you perform addition of one number. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a basic idea how to calculate. So if I am having one number like this, okay, so if I have to perform 2's complement, so how to perform 2's complement? First, you have to perform 1's complement. So in 1's complement, you invert the bits, all the bits. So 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0. So you will get 1 0 1 1 over here. So right now you have just performed 1's complement. Now in the case of your 2's complement, what you do, you just add 1 over there. So if you are going to add 1, so you will get 1 1 0 1, you are carrying it again, 1 1 will become 0. Here you are again carrying 1, so 1 0 it will become 1. So this is the 2's complement of 0 1 0 0. So if again I am repeating, those who have no idea how to calculate 2's complement, first of all you take a number, okay. First of all you just perform for 1's complement. So how to calculate 1's complement? Just invert the bits. 0 will become 1 and 1 will become 0. And after that what you do, you just perform addition by 1 because it is a 2's complement. So in 2's complement, we just add 1 over there. So once you are going to add one thing, so you will get this output like this. So similarly, 2's complement we are going to perform whenever we are going to store in your Java programming language. So in Java, your machine negative numbers, for your negative numbers, your logical code and your machine code, always remember, is not equal to each other for your negative numbers. Okay, always remember, for your negative numbers, your logical code and machine level code are not same. So that is why what we do over here, we will perform 2's complement. So whenever we are going to perform 2's complement, like I said, we have to perform 2's complement only in the data part, okay, or we can call it as your value part, not in this part. Okay, so using this, my compiler will understand, okay, this is a negative number, and just try to perform the 2's complement operation. So you know 0 will become 1, 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 and you will get 0 0. So right now it is in 1's complement, but as I told you that we have to convert it into 2's complement. So what I will do, I will add 1 over here. So I will get the output over here, and it will become 1 1 1 1 1 1 0, and 0 plus 1 will become 1. Okay, so in machine your -3 is represented like that. Okay, in logically -3 is this one, but in machine level my -3 is represented like that. Now why I am telling you that this concept, why I am not telling you that, because whatever the operation we are performing logically. No, we are not performing all the your whatever the operation logically. We are performing all your operations in the machine level. Okay, now after that, if I am going to perform any operation, okay, so I will perform over here. Okay, so for that, what I have done, I have created a separate slide. Okay, so
Sure.
even yes.
So why is it so that there is
Okay.
difference?
Okay, so first of all, there are two reasons, out of which one reason is that because in 2's complement, okay, that is not that much valid, like we required only 1 0. Second one is that because in the case of your whenever we are performing 2's complement, using 2's complement, what is happening? Actually, whatever the operations we are performing using your logic gates. Okay, so there are some logic gates, and using these gates, what we are performing this addition, subtraction, all these such kind of operation. So if we are going to convert a number into 2's complement, so using similar logic gates, okay, we can perform both the operation like that. So we don't need to change these logic gates. What we need to change, we just need to change the representation. So that is why we are just changing the representation into your 2's complement. Now after that, if I'm going to perform it, so that even with the same logic gate, I can perform the same set of operations and I will get the correct output. So that is why now they have basically reduced the cost, that no need to use different gates for addition as well as for subtraction. Either just use a single gate, But instead of that, what you do, you just go for what? Just go for these. Just convert a number into your 2's complement. Got the answer?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So basically, in order to utilize these logic gates. So that is why I have created one this PPT, okay, related to bitwise operator. Even I have uploaded videos, okay, related to bitwise operator, related to this PPT too. So even I'm going to share the link with you guys about this bitwise operator, where I have explained the same thing, okay. So see, if I have a program, and in that program I am having two numbers, okay, like positive 30 and negative 30. So you already know that it is of your integer data type. So how much value it will take? It will take 32 bits. Okay. It will take, both of them will take 32 bits. But how can I differentiate whether it is a positive number or negative number? Using MSB will be 0. For him, the MSB will be 1. Now, so after that, if I'm going to store your positive number, so this is how basically we store a positive number, okay, like this. So you know that this first bit will be my sign bit, so it will become what, 0, okay. So I have explained all this entire the concept, okay. 31 will be your value part, always remember. Now, one is, we always represent one for your negative number. Okay. So let's go for your negative number. So these are the basic ranges. So you already know. So this is how basically we represent positive of 30 in this in your machine level code. Okay. You can call it. So this is how we can represent it. But now, in the case of your negative number, okay, in the case of your negative number, whenever we are going to store a number, okay, so logically we are going to store minus of 30 like that, okay. MSB is 1 and everything is fine. But as I told you that whenever we are performing negative, whenever we are using negative number, so in machine level, my number is basically not stored in the logically like that. It will always stored in the form of 2's complement. So that is why this, if somebody is going to perform this any operator using this number, okay, even I will demonstrate you the same thing. So you will get the incorrect answer. Okay, why? Because in machine level, my bits minus 30 is not represented like that. So if I'm going to perform left shift operator, right shift operator, so I will get the wrong output. Okay, according to, if we are just means solving the problems manually. So it is because negative numbers logical binary code is not equivalent to your machine level code. Okay. So how Java store negative numbers? So in Java, negative numbers are stored in the form of 2's complement, like I said. So but wait, but why? Like I have given you the reason, one very intelligent question being asked, like why we are doing that thing. Okay. So the reason is because we can represent positive number as it is negative number by its 2's complement, and we can use the same circuit to perform addition and subtraction. So that is why we are using both we are performing or we are basically storing a negative number in your 2's complement. Okay, like that. Now process of storing a negative number. So like I have told you, so this is the process. These are the steps which you need to follow. First, take negative number, then convert it into your logical code. So you already aware about logical code. Then convert that logical code into your 2's complement code, and that will become your machine code. Okay. So you can see it over there. So this is what my minus 30. So how I'm going to convert it? First step, I will convert it into your minus 30. So this is my MSB bit. Okay. So one representing that it is a minus number, and this is my value bar. Now after that first task, what I will do, I will perform 1's complement. So you know that 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0. So this is how basically I am getting what my 1's complement. After that, in 2's complement, what I have to do, I have to add +1, and I will get 2's complement number. So this is how basically my numbers are stored. This minus 32 stored in my this your machine level. Always remember. Now, why I am telling you that this is how basically we are storing a number, negative number in 2's complement, because whenever we are going to perform the operations, okay, so I'm going to tell you about the operations too. Let me show you the operations. Yeah. So let's go through the operations. Okay, so you already have an idea. We have already discussed about all these operators. Let's discuss about bitwise complement operator. Okay, let's discuss about bitwise complement operator. So in the case of your bitwise complement operator, if you are getting a negative number, okay, if you are getting a negative number, so these are the steps which you need to follow. First of all, what you do, you just take, if the number is negative, you have to perform bitwise operation. First, what you do, you just find the 2's complement of that number. Okay, you just take the logical number and just convert it into 2's complement, and then what you do, you just perform bitwise operation. Okay, whatever the bitwise operation you want to perform, just perform it. And later on, what you do, again after performing bitwise operation, again perform what you do. If it is positive, then it is okay. If it is negative, then again you have to perform what you are to. So I can understand that it is not a very easy concept. It is somehow complex concept. So that is why we will go for one by one. We will take one by one example. Okay, for that. So I think your time is over. Is it?
Sir, can you show previous slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, even though, although what I will do, I am going to share a video also for the same concept. What I have done, I have used the same slides and I have uploaded a video. Okay, so what I'm going to do after this class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share that link in your class. Okay, so you can just go through it, and then in the next class, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss about it. So if you are facing any difficulty, okay, while solving those questions, so you can directly ask me out. Okay, because it will take time, because you have to solve the problems and just try to solve all these problems by manually. Okay, and then check all these problems in your JVM or in your Java compiler. So I'm going to share the
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, can you upload these slides on LMS, the previous one as well, and this PDF
Okay,
also?
okay. Actually, can you please tell me whether your account on Callpole is activated or not? Because right now I think we are also using Callpole also.
There actually there
इसके
is
बारे में हमें
a-
बताइए।
sir
Sir, could
Yes?
you give the link first,
सुना ही
please?
हमें तो पता ही नहीं है सर इसके बारे में.
So we don't know about it.
सर
Okay,
हम तो नाम
if
ही
you
पहली
have
बार
no
सुन रहे हैं।
idea, then no issue at all. So what we are going to do today, after this lecture, I am going to upload both these lectures, okay, as well as I am going to share the link related to that, so that if you are facing any difficulty, what you do, you just go through that lecture. It's quite simple. I have just explained this entire concept in that particular lecture, and then whatever the problems if you are having, so we are going to discuss, okay, during lecture time. Okay, got it?
Okay, sir.
But this concept is very important. That is why I'm taking a lot of time, for this concept. Then after that, we have a few more your operators
Excuse
which
me,
we are
sir.
going to discuss in the. Yes? Just
Okay.
tell me. Yeah. Any doubt? Any question?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in this Java concept, we are creating some classes, right?
Yeah. We are creating classes.
So after creating classes, we have to create also an object to access the variables and something stuff present in that class. But we are not using any objects present in that
Okay.
code.
See.
But how?
Okay, so those who want to leave the class, they can leave it because time is already over. But I just want to resolve his doubt. So the question he has asked me that whenever we are creating a class, okay, inside that class we are using a method, but we are not creating any object. This is your question?
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
how they access the?
Okay, but how we are accessing this method? Okay, yeah, this is a very good question. So why we are accessing this method? So the reason why we are accessing this method is just because of this keyword that is known as your static keyword. Okay. So the main functionality of your static keyword is that even you are not even that method, basically that method is not having any object. Okay, you can create that particular method and you can call that particular method. And why we are calling this method? Because this method is my main method, and whenever I'm going to this after compilation, whenever I'm going to execute this method, our JVM, our Java Virtual Machine, will always look for this public static void main method. Okay, if I'm going to remove static over there, so it will give me an error. So why we are using static over there? Because we can create a method, we can access a method even if we are not creating any object. Okay, so right now why I'm not again explaining this entire concept? Because later on, whenever we are going to start working on the your object concept, okay, so over there we will discuss about that why we are creating a static method, because static method are always accessed by your class. You can access a static method using class, but if a method is not static, then you have to access that particular method using your object. I hope you got your answer.
Sir,
Yes.
Yes,
one
sir.
more doubt regarding this only. So if we don't write static and here we are giving an output with SOP, so will
Okay.
it still run if we remove the
No,
static?
no. Actually, in JVM, what they have done, they always look for this main library. Okay, so the main library you can call only if you are using these keywords. So if you are not going to use public static void, so what will happen? You always will get an error. Okay, so this is basically a syntax which you need to follow. Whenever if you are going to remove this string args, still you are going to get an error. But you can say that we are not passing any command line arguments, but still why we are going to write this statement? So in the way they have basically wrote this method, okay, in JVM, or you can call it in Java. So over there now it becomes mandatory that you have to follow this syntax right now. Later on, what we are going to do, we are going to learn about why it should be public, because right now we are just creating a single class. Okay, but later on, whenever we are going to create multiple classes in a single program, then you will understand the concept of this static, or why we are going to make this thing as public like that. But till now, the thing which you need to understand is that whenever you are going to create a method, whenever you are writing any program, so you have to call a method using these two access modifier, public and static, even though you can use other static access modifier also, but I don't want to make it more confused, means to increase your confusion. So what I'm going to do, I'm just telling you that you can use only these two modifier, and you can use only this void data, void return type value, and you have to use this as main. Okay, got it?
So if we instead of main class, if we write a public static class just as a function to use in the program, so if we don't write static and we leave it empty, it will give an error, right?
Yeah, it will give us an error.
And
Why?
if we write
Yeah,
static,
because yeah, because it will look for, if you are saying that if I'm going to write like this, okay, I'm just writing this thing. So suppose if you have a method, okay, like this, and you are telling me that if you don't have static, this is your question, no?
and also not main.
Okay, also not, yeah, instead of main, you are creating new method like addition kind of. Okay, right. So in that scenario, you will get an error. Why you will get an error? Because here, whenever you are creating a method, and if you are not so no, actually over there now it becomes mandatory for you to create an object. Okay, so over there you have to create an object.
So it is to return a value.
Yeah, means you if you want to call this entire method now, so see there are several ways. to call a method. Okay, so if you are not going to make a method as static, then in that scenario, if you want to call it, so you have to make so you have to use your what we call it as your method. Like in the case of your scanner class, like I can show you here, like in the case of scanner class, here. So in the case of your scanner class, whenever I am using, I will go for any program. Let me open any program. Yeah, this code. See, here what you are calling the method. Okay, you are calling these. This is a method inside scanner, and how you are going to call this method. So if this, you can call it this method, it means that they have defined this method, this next method as what your as non-static method. Okay, if they have made it as static method, then what will happen? Then you can directly call it even using your class name also. So that is why I don't want to increase the complexity over there. So right now, in a simple language, I can say that if you want to use the functionality of this method, okay, of a non-static method, I'm calling it as a non-static method. If you want to use this, why we are creating method? So that we in future we can use the functionality. Okay, we can you call that particular method. So how you are going to call this particular method? For that you have to you have to create an object. Okay, but in the case of if you want to directly call a method, so there are some different ways also using. If you are going to make a method as your static method, so using class name also you can call that particular method too. Okay, so we are going to discuss about those static as well as non-static method too. I hope you got your answer, or still having any doubt, you can ask me. Yes.
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Got it now? So
Yes.
here, if you want to call this method, you have to create an object. But here, see, we are calling this method, still we are not creating any object. Although our JVM is loading this entire means, first of all, it is calling this method, we can understand, but it should be static. If it is not static, it will create an issue like that. Okay.
Okay.
So the next class, I will demonstrate you some different concepts too. Okay. So right now, it's just a beginning. Yeah. Any other question?
Sir, how do we practice, sir? Like, should we go on a Java online compiler or should we download Eclipse?
Now, in my opinion, I will recommend you to go for this Eclipse. Okay, just download Eclipse. Just it's a free. Just download. Just write it down in Google. Just click in the Eclipse. If you want to use some different ID, you can download it. So I will recommend. I'm recommending you to go for Eclipse or any ID you want to download. The reason why I'm telling you is that because in this subject you have a project also. Okay, so how you are going to create a project? You cannot develop a project using this entire online compiler. Online compiler is okay, but if you want to basically practice and if you want to save your program, because here you are not saving your program. Okay, so if you are creating some program and later on you want to start working on some, you want to apply some different concepts, so it's better to go for any ID. So I'm using like Eclipse ID, so you can directly download it and you can just start working on that. Okay, so all of you should download any ID. Otherwise, you cannot practice it properly. Okay, so in CodeZinger, right now we are giving you the practice assignment, but later on we are going to also monitor, okay, your continuous progress. Okay, but whatever the practice you are going to do, you have to do it in your any ID, whatever the ID you are going to use. Okay.
Sir, one question, sir.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
in the code that we are doing codes, so there we are using static, and then also we are creating objects. Sir, why so?
Can you tell me where?
So we are using static here now. So
Here you are using. See, this object, again, that is why this concept is quite complex. The question is quite valid. See, you are creating an object of this class, this scanner class. Got it? You are not creating an object. So that is why I'm not explaining this concept, because right now you haven't started you have no idea, means you have very less idea related to object kind of thing. So that is why I'm not explaining. Here you are creating this. S is an object. Okay. So this object, this is an object of this class, scanner class. Here you are not creating an object of main. If I am going to write main m is equals to new something like that, main, then you will call it that you are creating an object of this class. Okay. So here we are not creating an object of this class actually. Got the point?
So scanner class is not a static class then, right?
Wait, let me check. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
So scanner class is not a static like.
Yeah. Over there, method, not class. Okay. That method. Yeah. So see here, if you are going.
So why we are creating the class? Why we are creating the class for S object?
Yeah. So you are saying that why we are creating a class for which object?
For S, sir. S.
Okay. You are using this thing. Okay. So actually what happened now, see, now actually why we are creating a class. The main reason is that we want to perform multiple functionality. Like I can show you here, this is my scanner class code. Okay. So you can see that scanner.class. So in this class, how many methods we have? If I can show you that, you will see that there are several methods are there inside my this class. Okay, like private scanner. Okay, all these are what your methods. Okay, so all these methods are there. Now I want to use the functionality of these methods. How I will be able to use this method? Suppose I want to use this method. So how I will be able to use this method? So using what I will do, I will create an object. What I will do, I will create an object of this scanner class. Now, once I am going to create an object of this class, now I can access, now I can call any method. Okay, like that. So here, if I'm going to call this method directly, okay, so it will not run. So for that, what I will do, I will just create a or an object, and this object is basically holding the entire memory of this scanner class. Okay, of this scanner class. So you can directly call this method, and based on that, whatever the methods that are available inside my scanner class, I can directly call those methods.
So, sir, in the program, in the code you created previously, sir. So you did it without using the without creating the class. So can we do this in this how you did it? So we can do this here or not, sir?
No, where I think I'm in here where I haven't created any class.
So you didn't create any class, scanner class. You didn't use any scanner class here.
Okay. So actually the functionality of your scanner class, why we are using scanner class, like I told you, this scanner class we are using it just in order to take the values during runtime. Okay, so during runtime, if I want to enter some values, got it? So over there we generally use this scanner class. So like here in this question, I am not taking any real runtime values. What I'm doing, I'm taking predefined values. Okay, this one is predefined, 25 it is predefined. But if I want that during runtime, I want that you should insert any value during runtime. Okay, so in that scenario, you have to use this scanner class. Okay, and through this scanner class, you have to create an object, and you can see over there, here we are inserting, we are calling this method, that is next int method, which will take integer value. Okay, and so we are in during runtime, we can insert only integer value, and we can assign it. So this is the main. Okay, I can understand that some of you are having a lot of doubts related to Java programming language, because we haven't told you about objects, we haven't told you about the entire thing about packages, but still you know that even though if you are using basic functionality, we have to use it. but these are basically your different topics. Okay, so once we are going to cover the basic, your operators and all those things, in the next class, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss about this object. What is an object, why we are creating an object, and later on we are going to see why it is static. So gradually you will learn the concept. So right now, just remember that whenever you are going to create a method, just create it like that. But later on, you will see that you will understand that why we are using public, why we are using static, and like that. Okay. Any other question?
No, sir, no.
So if you have any other question, you can